Hazel, how can you even think of coming with us on our family vacation when you are nothing but a stranger in this family? A stranger who has no place in our lives, no bond with our hearts, no share in our happiness.
What did you just say to me? Good evening to you too, Brianna. Do you have any idea what you are talking about right now? Or are you just spewing nonsense out of your mouth?
I am talking to you about the exact words that came out of my mouth. We are planning on going to a luxurious resort. A resort that only the elite can afford for our vacation. And when I say we, I mean my family. My husband, who is your son, and our 2 adorable kids, who are your grandchildren. We'll be going on this vacation to enjoy some quality time together. But for some inexplicable reason, I have heard that you, a stranger who has no relation to us, want to take along and ruin our fun.
How can you say that to me? As if you don't even know who I am. I am your daughter-in-law, Brianna. I have been married to Mike for almost 3 years now, remember? And if my memory serves me right, I have joined you on your family vacations every year since then. Every single year, I have been there with you, smiling and laughing and pretending to be happy.
And as I recall, every single time you joined us, I had a problem with you being there. I always wondered to myself, why is there a stranger in our midst? Why is there a stranger who does not belong to our family, who does not care about our family, who does not love our family? And I always told Mike how I felt about you.
And I know that every time you told him that, I gave you the same answer. I told you that I was there because Mike wanted me to be there. And I was the one who drove you around. I took you to all the places you wanted to go, and I made your vacations possible. All I wanted was a simple thank you for all that I have done for you.
What are you talking about? A thank you? You should be the one thanking us. We are the ones who let you come with us on our trips. And we did all that when we didn't have to. When we could have just left you behind and treated you like the stranger that you are.
Well, even if you think that way, Mike doesn't. Mike is the one who always invites me to come with you. So if you have a problem with me coming on your family vacations, then you should talk to him.
Did I ever say that I have a problem with you coming on our family vacations? No, I didn't. I just said that I find it strange that you want to join us when you are nothing more than a stranger to us. A stranger who has no connection to us and no right to be with us.
That sounds like the same thing to me. Brianna, all you have ever said to me are hurtful things. You have always treated me like a stranger, and you have always made me feel like a stranger. I am not the one who wants to join you. I am invited by your son, so please, go talk to him. Your mom is at it again, Mike. She is hounding me about joining you all on your family vacation this year. Have you still not gotten your driver's license renewed so that you can take the wheel again?
Oh, I forgot to inform everyone that I'm still unable to drive. But it's not a big deal. I'm sure that everyone will be okay with you being the driver for this trip. And when we are ready to leave, I'll let them know that I haven't gotten my license back yet.
Oh, give me a break, Mike. This is the same old story. You are dragging me along on a family vacation with you all when I have no desire to go with you in the first place. I have told you every year that I'm fine with letting you all go as a family. But you still haven't renewed your driver's license, forcing me to be there to drive you all around. You can't take care of your own family, so you always ask me to step in. That's the only reason I have to be with you all. And yet your mom still harasses me every year, asking me why I'm coming over and over again, as if she has no idea why. Why don't you go and tell her the truth, Mike? Why don't you tell her that I have to come with you all because I'm your driver?
Don't worry about it, Hazel. I'll tell them soon enough.
Well, when is this soon enough, Mike? I want you to go and talk to her right now. Right this instant, if I have to endure her insults any longer, I'm going to lose it. You do realize that I don't want to go on your family vacation, but I have to, right?
Yeah, I told you. I get that. But can you please calm down and look forward to the trip? This time, we're going to a fancy ski resort after all.
But if I have to go with the rest of your family, they're going to treat me like I'm their servant, and that will be no fun for me at all. Well, whatever. Just make sure you tell your mom about this. Brianna, what have you done with the car? The signal here is terrible, so I couldn't make out what you were saying to me on the phone. Can you repeat what you were trying to tell me on the phone? What is happening right now that involves you all and the car disappearing from my sight?
Well, a few things have happened, that's all. But the main thing is that we've abandoned you here while we go and have fun on our vacation without you.
What? You've abandoned me here?
I thought that would be a nice spot for you while we were on our way to the ski resort. I've been planning for the past few weeks the best way to get rid of you would be by dumping you in the mountains as we went on our journey.
What are you talking about? Brianna, can you stop with these ridiculous jokes? Where have you hidden the car?
I told you that we left without you.
You left without me? Are you actually serious right now that you took off in the car without me?
And now that we've reached this point, I just want to let you know that I only booked a room for 4 of us in the resort.
What?
So there's no way that we could take you with us to the resort because there will be no room for you there. Thank you for driving us through the resort for the past 3 hours, but you are a stranger to us. So we have to ditch you before we get to the resort. We only have another 20 minutes or so to go, so we can drive that distance without your help.
Wait, how are you driving though? And did you just say that you didn't book a spot for me at the resort on purpose? That is the worst case of bullying I've ever witnessed from someone.
Say whatever you want, Hazel, but I don't have the heart to book a spot for you at this classy resort when I barely know you. All you are to my family is a driver, and I'm not going to pay for you to stay with us at the resort. I'll be driving the final stretch of this trip without you, so you can walk back home through the mountains and the cold.
Well, good luck with that then.
And good luck to you walking out of these mountains in the freezing cold.
Can you tell me who drove the car away without me in the first place?
Huh? I already told you that I'm the one driving.
What? But Brianna, you don't have a driver's license, do you?
And who cares about that? It doesn't matter if I have a license or not to drive out here.
Well, the whole reason I've been driving you all every year is because none of you have a driver's license. Anyway, I hope you survive that terrifying drive to the place. Just remember that if anything happens to you in that car, you'll be the one to blame for all of it. I just got a phone call from the hospital. Are you guys all right? Well, I can guess by the fact that the hospital called me about you guys that things are not all right, but that's not what I'm concerned about. I just want to hear what you have to say. Now, after the accident.
Hazel, you got a phone call from the hospital?
They called me because I was the one listed as someone's emergency contact, but I have no intention of coming all the way back there to see you guys. Really, I just wanted to let you know that I will not be coming there to help you guys now. Goodbye.
What? What are you saying? Tell me right now before you hang up on me. Did the hospital not explain to you everything that happened during and after the accident?
Oh, they sure did explain to me your situation. You had a car accident. That's too bad, but you were the ones who crashed, not me. So, in other words, that accident and all of you have nothing to do with me now. So, goodbye. I'll make sure to take all my belongings from the house before I leave for good. So don't worry about any of that now.
What? What do you mean you're taking all your belongings from the house and leaving for good? And wait, why are you at the house right now? Are you not still walking back home from the mountains?
I'm certainly not. I've already arrived back home.
How are you back home already? That was much faster than I had expected. I was sure that we left you in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. You should have spent at least a lot more time walking out of there and hopefully freeze on the way out.
I was lucky enough to get a ride from a nice gentleman who then drove me out of the mountains and back home.
You hitchhiked? How did you manage to do that when there were hardly any cars on the road?
There are more cars than you think on the roads in that mountain range, considering it is winter now and everyone's going skiing and snowboarding. So finding someone to give me a lift out of there only took me about 10 minutes or so. He was able to drive me out of the mountains, and then when I told him where I needed to go after that, he said he lived near where my house is. And just a little while after I walked into the house and started to pack my things, I got the phone call from the hospital telling me about you all.
I really didn't expect you to be back home in just a few hours like that.
It only took about 2 hours to get out of the mountains, and then another 30 minutes because we took the highway instead of the back roads on the way to the house. Well, unlike me, I'm sure things have been rough for the 4 of you. You wrecked the car and all of you got to experience a car crash firsthand. Sucks to be you.
Sucks to be us? What the hell? Why are you talking to me like that right now? Do you have any clue what kind of accident we had?
I don't actually. Nor do I care to find out. In my case, I'm perfectly fine, and that's all that matters. But I have to say, it must be terrible for all of you to have an accident right before you reach that amazing resort.
Driving on that icy road on the side of the mountain was awful. I could hardly keep the car on the road because of the sliding. I never imagined something this horrible would happen to us on the last drive to the resort.
Oh please, it didn't even matter that it was winter for everyone to know that you driving after having not driven in years was going to result in you getting everyone into a terrible accident.
How dare you?
For a very long time now, and I mean a very, very long time now, your whole family has been terrible at driving so bad. In fact, that each and every one of you has had their license taken away at some point because you are incapable of driving. And this time, you were originally going to have your husband drive the car the rest of the way. But he had been drinking the whole ride up, and so you had to take over the wheel. But boy, was that a bad decision, considering the last time you drove, you got into a collision on that same mountain road which led to you losing your license? You don't even have a bit of sense when it comes to driving. So what the hell did you think you were doing today? Abandoning me? I can't think of you as anything other than a fool right now.
A fool? How rude can you be, Hazel?
How rude can I be? I'm telling the truth, aren't I? It's because of the choices you made today that you put your whole family in mortal danger and almost drove that car off a cliff.
I understand that, but there are certain things you can be saying and certain things you can't be saying about me right now.
Well, I feel I can be saying things like this about you right now since they're the truth. Sorry if you think differently, but there's no point in trying to escape from the truth now, right? So what's so rude about that?
You're being extremely rude, saying things like that to your mother-in-law right after she'd gotten into an accident. You're the one that caused all of this to me. So all you're doing now by being that rude is making yourself look even worse. Do you not feel any kind of sympathy for me right now after all of this?
I don't. Actually, after all the crap your family has put me through, I would never feel any sympathy for you guys, no matter how horrible the situation is for you all. At this point, I really just do not care. I mean, you told me you're just all strangers to me anyway, so there's no point in wasting my energy thinking about you.
What do you mean we're all strangers to you?
You told me that a little while back, right? I mean, even today you said something like that to me. I am not a part of your family, so you don't want me coming to the resort with you all. And that's the reason you ended up abandoning me and then wrecked the car in an accident that landed you all in the hospital, right?
I still cannot believe that you made it home that quickly, when I made sure that we were leaving you in a part of the mountains that most people never drove through.
Look, you don't even seem to realize that what you've done was incredibly messed up. I wouldn't want to be anything besides a stranger to such piles of garbage like you. I've finally come to the point in my life where I really no longer feel anything for you, your husband, or even Mike. I just cannot keep being a part of such a toxic family as yours, Brianna.
Excuse me? What do you mean by toxic family? Whose family is toxic? Hazel, you have gone way past the line now with how rude you're being to both me and my family. And you're a part of this family as well. You're my son's wife.
But that's why I'm speaking as though I'm no longer going to be a part of your family or Mike's wife. I'm going to divorce him and then get out of this house forever.
Huh? Divorce my Mike?
That should make you very happy to hear now, right?
Huh? Hold on a moment. Did Mike say that he was okay with you doing that to him?
I don't know how he'll react to this at this point. He has no other option but to accept divorce now, right? Because as of right now, I am so determined to leave him and you guys that I've contacted a lawyer.
Are you serious? Why would you say something like that to his own mother?
Because I'm serious about all of this, and I feel you need to comprehend that very well. And besides, you've been the one calling me a stranger for the longest time now, even though I've been with Mike for 3 years.
I understand that, but right now we are in a very difficult situation.
Huh? You're in a difficult situation.
Then tell me, Hazel, who else is going to be coming out here to come and pick us up from the hospital? We're stranded here without a car, and we all have injuries that we need to rest from so that they can heal. If you don't come out here and get us, we'll be stuck.
Do I sound like I care?
What? Hazel?
I've had enough of all of you guys and the crap you've constantly given me. I am not your guys' freaking driver that you can use whenever you want and then discard at the last minute. If you all want to do something that requires a car to get to, then you take responsibility for that and actually learn to drive.
Wait, please, Hazel. Can you calm down about all of what's happened? Just a little bit? Hazel, you've never been this cold-hearted to all of us before, right? I'm sure that once you've had a moment to cool off, you'll be fine with coming out here and picking us all up.
Don't worry about not having someone come to get you. Because even if I don't plan on being there to take you home, the police will be.
What? What do you mean by the police will be here to take us home?
It's so nice to hear that you all are at least not in a life-threatening situation anymore. But you got into a car accident while not having a valid driver's license. Did you think that the police would never show up to investigate that accident? The moment they realize that you have no driver's license and were driving that car, they are going to take you into custody.
Take me into custody? Are you sure? But I got injured in that accident as well. Everyone in the family is hurt in some way, and none of us are in the position to be dealing with the police right now. So why the hell would they take me into custody?
Well, I'm just telling you what will most likely happen. So I'm sorry that your poor choices are catching up to you, but what you did was against the law. And in that crash, you caused a lot of problems for other people around you. Now tell me, Brianna, why do you keep trying to play things off as though you've done nothing wrong this whole time? You already messed up the moment you left me in the mountains, when it's the middle of winter and not many people are around. Idiot! And with that one extremely stupid choice, you tied the knot to the noose that's been around your neck this whole time. Stinking idiot!
Hazel, I am really in a tough spot right now, and so is the rest of the family. Don't you think you're taking things a bit too far now by laughing at me with no sympathy to what's happened? Is there nothing about what's happened that's bothering you?
Anything bothering me? There's nothing about what's happened with you that bothers me now. All you are to me now is a couple of strangers that are so rotten that you left me in the mountains in the freezing cold. After telling me you didn't even reserve a spot for me at the resort. And soon I'll be divorced from Mike, and we'll be able to cut ties to you all for good. I'm sure when Mike finds out about the divorce, he'll be in just as big of trouble as you're in right now. But he has his family, so please be there to support him after I leave.
How can you say that Mike will face dire consequences? What is this ominous tone you are using to imply that we will all suffer the same fate?
Well, you do remember that Mike had a decent job as a truck driver, right? But did you ever wonder how he could keep driving those heavy vehicles after losing his license in that drunken accident?
What? Then what has Mike been doing with his life since then?
Well, for the past few months, he has been wasting his time and energy on playing video games all day long, without ever getting off the couch or doing anything productive.
Then that means he has no source of income at the moment?
Well, that's a logical conclusion, isn't it? Not having a job would prevent you from earning any money, right? I must say that this whole situation was a blessing in disguise for me. I had been planning to dump him for at least a year now. So now you can all join forces as a family to figure out a way to escape from your miserable predicament.
Hazel, please, don't do this. Right now, my own daughter is also unemployed, and she doesn't even bother to look for a job. Who is going to support me and my husband from now on? Who is going to pay for the damaged car and all of our medical bills now?
What? Are you out of your mind, Brianna? I hope you didn't even entertain the idea that you could ask me to pay for your mess. Now, you are all nothing but strangers to me, and that's exactly what you wanted, right? Now the four of you can struggle to survive in that hopeless situation by any means necessary. Farewell forever, you old filthy witch. After the dreadful events that transpired, Hazel decided to cut off all contact with Mike and his family. She blocked their calls, deleted their messages, and erased them from her memory. And as for Mike's mother, Brianna, she was dragged from the hospital by the police and thrown into a filthy jail cell, where she would rot until her trial date. Mike desperately tried to reach out to Hazel for forgiveness, begging her to give him another chance to be a good husband. But Hazel had no sympathy left for his pathetic whining. After everything that vile family did to Hazel, this was the inevitable consequence. Hazel emerged victorious, severing ties with that whole poisonous family for good. But that left Mike with his dysfunctional family as they plunged into a horrifying abyss. Well, this was the result of their own actions after treating Hazel like dirt, and so the only way they could escape from their doom was to transform themselves as a family. At least they could be grateful that Brianna's reckless decision to drive didn't send them all to their graves.